Who likes to work?
Not me, that's for sure. But some people enjoy their career or, they're passionate about what they do. Are you?
No.
I get that vibe.
Summer Walker's finally over it era has been strange. First, it was the year-long radio silence after the first single came and went. Then it was the random older men as a marketing tactic. And now it's obviously fake cheating scandals for social media virality. Days after the album dropped, first week sales predictions had the internet convinced this era was cooked. We just got the official first week numbers, so were the naysayers right or were they wrong? Yo, what's up guys? In this video, we're gonna talk about the mess that has been the finally over it era. From an image and marketing perspective, it's been a mixed bag. Sometimes good and others high-key questionable. Is this era quote unquote underperforming due to marketing mishaps? Or is Summer Walker's place in the market shifting from where it was last era? Please like and subscribe and let's get started.
That's not
be cheating like real.
No, you're right. No, you're dead
cheating
right.
real bad. She's had 9 years. He only cheated twice. Girl, take that man back.
People shouldn't be accepting that, but you are right. Like literally 2 times is nothing. But friend, we can't sound like this.
But if you get with the next dude, they gonna cheat too. And it's like, I should have just stayed with my last
No,
cheater.
I totally agree with you. They're all off, and there's like they all act like that. But
Yeah.
but there's some people. That's why I never say it, because there's some people who genuinely feel like there's some men who don't cheat, and they'll argue down about that, and then they'll make it be like, oh, y'all just with them niggas that be cheating.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't say nothing. But no, babe, they're all cheating.
I'm gonna start with the most recent toxic ratchet mess Summer's been in and weave it into an overall analysis of the finally over it era. Cause trust me, otherwise I wouldn't care about this bird behavior. So a voicemail leaked of Summer drunkenly encouraging some rapper to engage in a romantic affair with her behind the back of his longtime partner and mother of his child. She even gave him tips on how to hide the affair.
I'm not gonna bother y'all. Like, you can buy me a new phone so she don't know the number and save it under Pizza Hut for all I care. I'm not gonna post it. So I'm so glad that y'all are back together. I want y'all to be together forever, and I just wanna with you.
This went viral, people started criticizing Summer, and then Summer hopped on IG Live to stand 10 toes on what she said.
I told everybody on Fuck My Type I date for money now. Your man, he spends money. Everybody been with him for years. He been with everybody. So what's the problem? Like what? Like you're never gonna leave. You're never gonna leave. It comes to a point where it has to be like a certain level of disrespect that you have got to come to. That be like, all right, this is it. This can do anything to you. So if you're not gonna leave and he's gonna keep cracking that wallet wide open, then what can't we all just get along?
The rapper's girlfriend responded, calling Summer out and labeled her Miss Pizza Hut. And if you needed any more confirmation this was all fake, Summer changed her IG bio to include Miss Pizza Hut. This fake scandal makes Summer look like a hypocrite, and it's a really bad look for her. This is the same person who has crashed out multiple times online from being cheated on. And she's even called out other women for engaging with men they know are with Summer.
I'm really trying to grow trust, especially for my new situation, because I'm used to like getting with people and then like 2 seconds later, somebody's on the internet talking about, I fucked him yesterday.
And on top of that, this album doesn't align with the narrative Summer's been pushing of this album being about choosing peace over toxic situations.
Despite it sounding like I'm finally over it, like, oh, she's really mad now. It's more so of like a different era, putting down the baggage, putting down any stress, and just moving towards like a better life.
She rolled out that old white man in that wheelchair, saying F my type, just to get exposed for messing with the type of person you said you were finally over. This quote-unquote scandal set social media ablaze, and I'm sure that was the intention. This event has been the most Summer has been talked about since the album dropped over a week ago. It's not a coincidence this happens 1 week after the album drops, and a few days after the sales predictions say this album is underperforming. And we're gonna get to the sales, but first we gotta talk about the confusing rollout of this era. And maybe if things went differently, there wouldn't be a need to pull these love and hip hop type stunts. The finally over it era began in October 2024 when Summer dropped the lead single Heart of a Woman and revealed the album title. Heart of a Woman was a moderate success, peaking at 57 on the Hot 100. After that, it was pretty quiet on Summer's end until the second single, Spend It, was released in May of this year. The song was given a video but no real marketing push, and as a result, the song did not chart. In order to further promote the album, Summer started hosting Over It Radio on Apple Music. In April, an episode was released featuring Summer and Mariah the Scientist. Summer said the album would come after she was done being the North American opening act for Chris Brown's stadium tour.
When it goes great, I'll have a bigger audience to go listen to my new album, Finally Over It. And that's good for the money.
She also said the album wasn't coming for a very long time.
So let's talk about your project. I want to talk about it. What's the holdup?
Where is it? It's actually done.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what we want to know.
It's done, but you're not going to get it anytime soon, so you might as well just pack it up and find something else to do.
She ends up revealing the album's release date 6 months later in October, saying it would drop in 1 month. This is what doesn't make sense to me. I get the plan of waiting to drop the album after a stadium tour, since that means more hype and attention on the project. But wouldn't it make more sense to share the release date earlier so more people have a chance to hear about it? But a month would be more understandable if Summer had a song that was being pushed and promoted as a single in the months leading up to the album's release. But for some reason that didn't happen. By the time the album was announced, it had been a year since Heart of a Woman came out, and the song Spend It didn't make any noise on the charts. So basically, this album dropped without any songs actively promoting it. I did some digging and found a Reddit comment that said Summer revealed she played the album for her label earlier this year, and then no more info on the album was given. I couldn't find an IG Live or a post that backs up what this person said, so we're gonna take it with a grain of salt. But Summer did release a video saying she fights with her label over the length of her songs, so there does seem to be some level of conflict over her music.
I love to get into it. I got away with as much as I could because I'd be fighting with my label about my 3, 4, 5-minute songs now that I have. It was up to me. Give me, oh my God, I love a long, old song, not the stuff that you think you're going to hear on the radio.
So now I'm wondering if the reason we didn't have a single for almost an entire year leading up to this album is because the label didn't like what they were hearing and had Summer go back in the studio to retool what she was working on.
So when you go into, and like I say, when you have such a vast catalog and already got hits, do you know how to get out of your own way when you say, this is a standalone song, or do you compare it?
I'm going to be honest with you, my label does, and they stress me the hell out about it. I don't care. I don't think about that. I have tunnel vision. I like to just focus on what I'm doing now. When I start looking at what they doing and what they doing and what I did, that's when you got to just focus on what you're doing. And I know that they're just excited for me and for them and their success and everything that they've built, and they want it to just go well. But I'd be like, stop talking to me.
When it comes to the project singles, the ball was absolutely dropped on that front. But this era did have some really good marketing tactics. The theme for this era is Summer being finally over it all, being a lover girl, heartache, men, etc. She's content with finding a wealthy older gentleman to take care of her for the rest of her days. Summer Walker appeared at the VMA's red carpet in a look inspired by 1990s Pamela Anderson. But what got people's attention was the older man who accompanied her as her date that evening.
Oh, this is my special friend.
Okay, how special?
Mind your business.
How did you and Summer meet?
Mutual friend in LA.
How long you two been together, Summer?
Mind your business.
Some people thought it was really strange she pulled up with this old white man at the VMAs. But I found it funny and a cute way to get people talking about her and the album. On the day she dropped the album release date, she put out a video of her taking a lie detector test. In the video, Summer is berated with questions. Is London on the track? Do you care what anyone has to say about your body? Is the album coming out November 14th? She answers simply with a yes before revealing the Finally Over It release date.
Please state your name if you consent to this polygraph.
Summer Walker, and yes, I do.
Is London on the track?
Absolutely not.
Truthful. Are we sliding down the wall with this album?
Yes.
Truthful. Have you ever thought, am I actually the toxic one?
Yes. But do I believe it? Yes and no.
That looks like a lie.
On Halloween, Summer announced that she created a Finally Over It escape room for fans to run from relationship red flags. About a week before the album dropped, Summer revealed the Anna Nicole inspired album cover.
This album cover, the inspiration behind it.
Yeah.
You so crazy.
Anna Nicole?
Yeah, that's your girl.
That's my girl.
Tell me, what is it about Anna Nicole that makes you go, that's my
I love
girl?
her. She's hot, she's sexy, she's fun.
Yes.
She's free. I really want to get into that. Like, I've got to find my old billionaire.
Side note, but I love how Summer leans into comedy with each of her album covers. They're all kind of goofy yet fitting in their own way. The week of the album drop, Summer drove around Atlanta in a teal dump truck and invited people to throw away their ex's stuff.
Welcome to my Finally Over It dump truck service. We'll be riding all around Atlanta coming to pick up your ex's stuff. Come on with me. We're going to start at Morehouse and we're going to keep it going. Make sure you have it ready. You don't have to hold on to anything any longer because we are coming to pick that up.
In terms of the album's track list, she got 2 popular podcast hosts to act in a skit as waitresses at her wedding party where they discussed the guests, aka features, in attendance.
Girl, I cannot believe we working this wedding. Everybody and their mama here.
Girl, literally, everybody is outside. I said, we about to get Charles. We ain't gonna be in the hood no more.
Did you see 21 Savage with that plate of beans? Girl, Anderson .Paak. And that wig.
Hair was laid. I wonder if he'll give us his vendor.
Bryson Tiller? I'm gonna try to holler at him.
Excuse me?
Don't.
Finally, Summer appeared on the Jennifer Hudson show in a wedding gown and walked onto the stage as if it were her wedding.
Summer walkers at J Hud, oh, walking down the tunnel.
And after the jam-packed 1-month marketing campaign, Finally Over It debuted on the Hot 100 at number 2 with almost 80,000 copies sold in its first week.
Do you have expectations for it? That it'll reach a certain amount of people or sell a certain amount of albums or have a record that goes platinum?
No, I've never really had any of those. But by the grace of God, we always go platinum. We always go gold.
Is that the new standard for you? If you don't get those accolades, would it feel like a failure to you?
Hell no. It's still gonna pay my bills.
Alright guys, let's do some analysis of these first week sales. Because I think people are missing the mark when they call this album an underperformance or a flop. In terms of recent R&B first week sales, Summer is still leading the genre. Chris Brown's latest album sold 45,000 first week. Givion's latest sold 44K. Party Next Door's latest solo project sold 37K. Bryson Tiller's recent album did 15,000. Coco Jones' album did 15,000. And only 2 R&B albums have sold more this decade. Usher's 2024 album, which was boosted by his Super Bowl halftime show, and Brent Faiyaz's 2022 album. SZA's deluxe version of SOS, Lana, is more R&B than SOS and sold around 180,000 copies first week, but SZA is a different case. While SZA makes R&B music, she stated that she doesn't see herself as an R&B artist, and I agree with her. But compared to the biggest names in mainstream R&B, Finally Over It is far from an underperformance. The reason people see these numbers as an underperformance is because Summer set the bar so high for herself with her last 2 albums. Over It debuted at number 2 with 130K first week, and Still Over It went number 1 with almost 170K first week. Those were both abnormally high numbers for an R&B artist in this day and age. R&B artists have been struggling to break 100K first week since the late 2000s. She captured lightning in a bottle with those first 2 eras, and the sales reflected it. But there are some people that think the album's lower first week sales are because a key figure was not involved in this era. And now people are wondering, does Summer need London on the track? A lot of us were really curious about how this album would sound, because this is the first album that her ex-boyfriend / super producer London on the Track didn't produce. And now that the album's been out for over a week, I've seen people say this album doesn't hit because she didn't work with him, that she ultimately needs to swallow her pride and make things right with him. I think that's a shallow take and ultimately wrong. If you weren't aware, London on the Track was the executive producer of her first album Over It, but not for the second album Still Over It. He produced for the second album, but industry veteran Sean Garrett served as the album's executive producer. In 2021, Summer Walker wrote, "He didn't write Ish and he didn't produce Ish either. He just handpicked the ninjas he wanted to do all the work and attached his name to it while he was out screwing 304s while I was pregnant. The most he did was sprinkle a wind chime effect on a song that was already done, then put his name on it." She continued, "The last album he actually did the work, and it was a great project. He's super talented, but for this album, LOL, no sir. But I guess the City Boys is up, taking credit for Ish you ain't do and not actually having to take care of the kids you made." A lot of people say that Still Over It is Summer's best album to this day, and that's the one that London did not executive produce. So does she actually need him? I will say though, London was a great muse for Summer both artistically and lyrically. Their toxic, chaotic, highly publicized relationship resulted in not one, but two modern-day R&B classics. The very public rise and fall in their relationship was PR gold in terms of getting people to engage with Summer's music. And you know what? Maybe Summer is a type of artist whose music benefits from her being in a relationship. Because with the Finally Over It era, it seems like Summer really is not all that inspired musically. Summer has stated she's not all that passionate about music, and that she relies on one of her managers to keep her in the studio until they have enough material to work with for an album.
So the only reason anybody even has any albums is because of that man.
Okay.
That's my A&R.
Yeah.
And he comes and he snatches me from up out of my house, because I love to be in my house. And he comes and grabs me and he turns an Ike Turner and he makes me sing all these songs and write all these songs. And then so I'll come out with like some bullshit. And then he says, "Hey, get your ass back in there. I redo them goddamn songs." I redo the songs and they get better. And I give it to him. I'll be like, "Can we turn it in now? What do you want?" And he'll be like, "No, the projection is ass." Because I get all my songs from YouTube. I get all my beats from YouTube.
Excuse me?
Well, okay, so in the beginning, obviously, I got them from my baby daddy, but I don't f with him no more, so I get them from YouTube. And then, he says, I'll be like, "Are we done? Now, master." And he'd be like, "Hell no. Get in there. Put them goddamn ad-libs in there." And then so me and Justice, we do this process where we just keep going and we just keep going and we just keep going and he just keep bothering me until we have an album. Because if you leave it up to me, babe, you wouldn't get a goddamn thing.
And honestly, this era feels like Summer in cruise control. The gist of this era's theme is Summer is done with trying to love these ninjas, so she's just gonna marry an old rich white guy. Hence her VMAs guest and the album cover.
I don't know. I just don't like them anymore. Like,
When you say them,
like men, I don't like to date wise. Like, y'all can provide, but like to like them, I don't know.
And while that concept is pretty funny, I don't think it's all that interesting to people, especially compared to the spectacle of her first two albums. And when you combine that with great music, that's how you get abnormally high first week sales for an R&B album in the 2020s. This era doesn't really have that driving force that will convince non-fans they should listen to the album.